Morning everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel, and it is another Championship match day review. So this has been recorded on Saturday night. Since there's no games coming up on tomorrow Sunday or Monday, I thought I'd record this now and bring it out tomorrow, which is Sunday. Probably before the Man City Liverpool game, or if not, maybe after that, but I'll probably bring it out beforehand. But yeah, we're going to review all the Championship games that happened over the weekend, give our opinions as always, and give our thoughts as well. So we're going to go straight into the Steel City derby, which happened on Friday night. Sheffield United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Probably a decent point for Jos Luhukay's first game in charge of Sheffield Wednesday. Something that he can build upon now, a good foundation to start upon as well. An opportunity to look at his team in a good game mentality and a good game environment as well. Especially in such a big game like the Steel City derby, it's always good to try and see who would rise up to the occasion. And I thought Sheffield Wednesday managed the game quite well in certain parts. They defended quite resiliently. Obviously, they went down to 10 men in the second half when Glenn Loovens stupidly went to ground to take out Clayton Donaldson. He went for the ball but caught the man. So obviously the referee was going to send him off for a second bookable offence on that occasion. But I felt Sheffield Wednesday managed to quell the storm in terms of the way Sheffield United did play. Obviously, Sheffield United likes to play aggressive attacking football, get the ball on the deck and knock it around. They've got some very talented players in their team. And I thought it was a good point, as I said. As Sheffield United, probably unlucky. Had a couple of half chances, really. Wasn't many real clear-cut chances from either side. I mean, the pick of the chances from either side was probably a header from Clayton Donaldson in the first half, tipped over the bar from Joe Wildsmith, and a chance from Adam Reach at the end. And a clever little dipping volley brought down quite well, which is another good save from Simon Moore in the Sheffield United sticks. But as for both teams, not the worst result in the world for both. Probably better result for Sheffield Wednesday in terms of them now moving forward under Luhukay. And yeah, it's a better result for Sheffield Wednesday. As for Sheffield United, they probably could have a win in the next game. They've got teams below them like Leeds and Fulham snapping at their heels now in terms of trying to get that final promotion place. Let's go into the next game, Cardiff 4, Sunderland 0. This is the early kick-off. I watched this on TV since the early kick-off. First half, I thought Sunderland managed the first half quite well. They contained that attacking threat that Cardiff have. They had a couple of half chances on the counter-attack as well, for the likes of George Honeyman and Josh Marger to be two of the players who caused, let's say, a little bit of trouble. I wouldn't say it was major trouble in the first half, but in the second half, obviously Cardiff do get their breakthrough goal in the opening 5 minutes of the first half, and it really did set the ball rolling for what's to come. Signs of the Cardiff City that really did rise up the table in the first half of the season. They took Sunderland apart in the second half, and Sunderland really didn't have much in response to that. As for Sunderland at the moment, they probably could do with some money and probably get an experienced striker, and obviously they've let Lewis Grabban go back to Bournemouth, and also James Vaughan's gone to Wigan on the permanent deal as well. So the only two strikers they've got are a young Josh Marger and Joel Osoro as well. So they're two young lads. They could probably do a bit more of an experienced head in there to help them two out as well. And I do think they're in big trouble at the moment. I don't see any sort of rise up, any sort of positive to take really. That could at least see them give them a fighting chance to stay up. But as for Cardiff, back to winning ways. A good win back at home now, so that'll give them a bit more momentum. Comfortable win as well. And that should set them in sights for another tilt at the automatic promotion place. Let's go into the next game, Barnsley 0, Wolves 0. Good result for Barnsley here. Managed to contain a very, very good Wolves side and managed to keep a clean sheet as well. Something I haven't done a lot this season, haven't Barnsley. They've failed to keep clean sheets, but this is probably one of the best results they've probably got this season in terms of the way they've dealt with the game. They managed the game quite well as well. Managed to hold off that resistance from Wolves, who do pack a lot of quality in their side. Wolves did try and huff puff at the goal of Barnsley's, but unfortunately couldn't make a breakthrough and couldn't come away with the points. Not the worst result of Wolves, still 10 points clear at the top of the table, and they should still be in the driving seat to win the league. As for Barnsley, a good point for them. That'll stand them in good stead now for the rest of January. If they can strengthen a little bit more, then I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine. Let's go into the next game, Birmingham 0, Derby 3. A fantastic game, fantastic result for Derby County. Second in the table now, moving along quite nicely. A very professional performance, a mature performance from Gary Rowett's side. Also, Gary Rowett going back to his old stomping ground at St Andrews, where he was controversially sacked in December of last year as well. As you can see, the way Birmingham have really what's happened to them now since he's gone is quite sad to see, really, how they've took a rapid decline in such a short space of time. And it does show you what a group of owners can do to a club within a year, provided managerial appointments are not great and the investment in the certain group of players ain't great either. But as for Derby though, professional performance, 3 well-taken goals, Matej Vydra back in goal scoring form, Johnny Russell deflected shot opened the scoring, followed by a Vydra second half strike, and then Andreas Fireman wrapped up the game with a goal in the 89th minute to make it 3-0. So it's positive for Derby. I can see them being a major threat in the automatic promotion race, and they're definitely not in the playoffs as well. As for Birmingham, their mini revival over Christmas has been halted briefly, but I do see them managing to get them out of the situation. They've sold off a couple of players now, so if they can get an investment in some decent players, then I'm sure they'll be okay. Let's go into the next game. Brentford 2, Bolton Wanderers 0. Good result for Brentford this is, considering how many games they have drawn at home in the past. And I did feel like prior to this game they would draw, but they managed to go 1-0 up in the first half and they get that second goal in the second half as well, just to kill off any chance of a Bolton comeback to get a point. Good result for Brentford. That keeps them in the hunt for a playoff place as well. I think it's 40 points now. They've done really well after a slow start this season. Dean Smith's got them playing some good stuff down there. As for Bolton Wanderers, a defeat for them drags them back into that relegation mix alongside Burton Albion, Sunderland, Birmingham City as well. And they can probably do with a result soon, although the teams around them didn't do much better either, so it's not the worst result in the world, considering the teams around them don't go and win games. When they don't win games, it's always going to try and work in their favour as well. So we're going to kick on into the next game. A bit of a shock result this was. Bristol City 0, Norwich 1. Didn't expect this to happen really, but a fantastic result for Norwich. A big win for them now. Props them to about, I think it's 12th in the table now. I think off the top of my head, it's either 12th or 13th. But it's a good result for them really against a very good Bristol City side, who Ashton Gate is a tough place to go. They don't lose many games this season at Ashton Gate. As you can see, on their day they're capable of beating the likes of Manchester United at home, which they did in the Carabao Cup. Probably, I'd say a little bit of fatigue after that good performance against Man City. I think it probably took a lot out of them, but you can't use that as an excuse. In the Championship, it's relentless. Games come thick and fast, so you've got to be well equipped and be able to adapt to the quick turnover of games if you want to do well in this division. And Bristol City have done that quite comprehensively and quite frequently this season in terms of them winning games they've struggled in as well. But obviously this was probably a game too far in terms of after that Man City game. They give it their all in that Man City game, and they probably were a little bit tired, I'd felt, and probably Norwich with the fresher legs, they get the better result, and it's good for Norwich in terms of them trying to maybe as an outside chance of plus. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think a mid-table finish for them could be good, provided they keep holding Nelson Oliveira, who's been subject of recent Derby County interest for £8 million, and if they do lose him, and maybe Cameron Jerome as well, they could be without a main striker, so they need to keep hold of one of them, or if they do sell them, try and replace them. So in the next one, Burton Albion 1, QPR 3. This was a big game in terms of for both clubs, really. Both sides couldn't really afford to lose this. This was a huge 3 points at stake in terms of both sides trying to stay in this division. QPR come away with a 3-1 win. A good performance from QPR as well. They went 1-0 up and conceded the equaliser a couple of minutes afterwards as well. But then managed to get back into the second half, a second goal from Massimo Luongo. Then thanks to Connor Washington, who did get the third goal and wrap up all 3 points for the R's. Well, for the QPR, I mean. So it was a good result for QPR, as I said. It now props them up to 14th in the table. Very good. 33 points now. So obviously, Ian Holloway's managed to pull his way out of that relegation mix now, starting to get into mid-table safety now, which is probably what they would have hoped now, considering the financial fair play saga they've got, which money really ties them to certain deals they can do in January now. They can't really go out and spend money like they have done in the past. But I think Ian Holloway's now, he's trimmed down the wage budget. A couple of players have gone. Some of the young lads have come back on loan, like Eberechi Eze and players like that. Good young players who've done well at Wycombe Wanderers and some of the other lower league teams as well. So they're going to bring in a young crop of players who are determined to do well, and it's paying off quite nicely for QPR at the moment. In a decent bit of form now as well. As for Burton Albion, I do worry about them. They've got a tough game away at Fulham next week, so it's another baptism of fire in terms of the way they've played at the moment. A 3-1 defeat against QPR as well at home isn't great, and their home form hasn't been great this season. I don't really see it picking up at the moment. They probably could do with a couple of extra players in January to try and help them boost their chance of survival, really, but I just don't really see it happening. So moving to the next game, Hull Reading 0-0. A good result for Hull, I'd say. It's a better point for Hull, but again, both sides didn't really fancy a point. They both could probably done with 3 points in terms of trying to move them out of the relegation mix. Obviously, both teams are down in that relegation mix, and you don't really want to be down there in terms of the stature of these two clubs. Not too long ago, both these clubs were established Premier League clubs, but it just shows you again how far they've fallen as well. As for Hull, I think they could do with another bit of January recruitment. I think they've got a good manager in Nigel Atkins who can help them get out of this situation. And they're playing some good stuff, getting points on the board. Had a goal disallowed as well from John Torrao as well, which I didn't really see much wrong with it, really. I don't get how the referee can give a foul. Vito Mann didn't have 2 hands on the ball, so unlucky in that respect to not get the goal, which could have led to a massive 3 points. But in certain respects for Reading, they probably got the rub of the green, which they probably haven't had in recent games with many recent defeats over Christmas and moving into New Year. So it shows you really how one team, the rub of the green is such a big difference in this league. So a point isn't the worst result in the world, but I feel like they could have both done with 3 points this game. Let's go into the next game. Ipswich 1, Leeds 0. Good result for Ipswich. Good goal scored by Bersantin, a very mercurial talent on loan from Man City as well. He's proven to be a big hit at Ipswich. He's scored some important goals in some important games for Ipswich as well this season. The goals at Burton Albion do spring to mind as well prior to this wonderful strike at Leeds. And he's really starting to bed into that good Ipswich side now. After a recent debacle against Fulham when they slipped a 4-1 defeat after being led 1-0 at the break. They've started to get a little bit more momentum back. The home form's been decent this season, so a big win against another promotion rival in Leeds, who went down to 10 men thanks to Union O'Kane getting sent off. That didn't help them, and it restricted them to what they could do in the second half. But it's a good result for Ipswich. As for Leeds, not the worst start in the world. A little blip, really, in terms of a minor blip, really. When you're down to 10 minutes, it's always that little bit harder, especially against a resilient Ipswich side as well. It just makes that 10 times harder, as I said. But I do see Leeds back in the fold come May, and I don't know. I think Ipswich could have a chance. They could have a squeak if they can get that consistency back, which I had towards the start of the season. But if they don't, I can see them probably finishing around that top 10. Let's go into the next game. Middlesbrough 0, Fulham 1. Controversial, really, for my team, Fulham. We probably rode our luck in large parts of that game, but come away with the win at the end. Callas was very fortunate to get away with that penalty appeal. I thought it was a clear penalty on Martin Braithwaite, a clear shove. We managed to get away with that. Middlesbrough then hit the bar through Britt Assombalonga. Had a good chance in the first half as well through Rudy Gestead. He chipped the ball over Marcus Bettinelli and went wide. And in the second half, we get the penalty right at the end. Oliver Norwood. To me, it's a penalty, I think, from the referee's angle. If you see Grant Leadbitter go in, stick his leg out there, Norwood's going to go down under any contact. I'm sure any player would. We do get the penalty and we do stick it away. It was a good finish by Norwood as well. Good result for us now. We're starting to move up the table well, starting to get things right in terms of the way we're playing at the moment. 1 point for the playoffs now. 9 off second place suggests we're under a bit of a revival. Hopefully we can strengthen in January in the left back, centre half and striker position, and we might see us move on to bigger and better things this season. As for Middlesbrough, similar story to us. They spent a lot of money this year, £50 million on talent to try and get them to smash the league in the words of their owner. Hasn't materialised. Tony Pulis had to go back to basics in terms of getting recent results. I do see them in that playoff mix come May though. Let's go in the penultimate game. Millwall 1, Preston 1. Honours shared in this game. I did see it being a draw considering how good Millwall are at home. Aidan O'Brien did take the lead from Millwall in the first half, followed by a Callum Robinson strike to make it 1-1 in the second half. Good result, a fair result for both sides. Not the worst start in the world for Preston. It keeps them in touch with the playoff places as well. Provided they didn't lose the game, it was always going to keep them in touch. As for Millwall now, it's comfortable mid-table safety at the moment. I do see him standing in this division quite handily. Their home form's been good this season as Millwall's now, and they're a big threat at home against some of the bigger teams. Let's go into the final game of this one. Nottingham Forest 0, Aston Villa 1. Aitor Karanka's first game in charge of Forest is a defeat thanks to a Scott Hogan first half header. I saw parts of this game as well. A very professional performance from Aston Villa. They looked solid at the back and attacked in numbers whenever they had the chance. And they probably ran out comprehensive and deserved winners in my opinion. Forest had a couple of half chances in this game but just failed to put materialise any clear-cut chances, and it's probably worthy winners in the end for Aston Villa. And it now keeps them in the playoff places with eyes only above them in second place on Derby, who are not too far away now as well. As for Forest, Aitor Karanka's in charge. I don't need to give him time. It took him a couple of years to work out a good formula at Middlesbrough, and look what he went on to achieve their promotion. All right, they went down, they got relegated last season, but it took him 2 years to build up a very solid foundation at Middlesbrough, and I do think he's the right man for them. So there you have it guys, that's my Championship match day roundup. If you do like it guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for new as well. Thanks for 400 subscribers, it means a lot to me, it's fantastic how well we've grown. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video guys, bye bye.